Hello everyone, this is John for PokerVIP.com, and in this video we are starting the How to Crush 50 NL series on Unibet. Hopefully by now you've seen the How to Crush the Micros, where we covered 4 NL and 10 NL. Hopefully you've seen the 25 NL series as well. And now we're here at 50 NL, which is definitely when the game starts to get a little bit more serious. Lots of money can be made, especially when you've got the PokerVIP top 5 50 rake race, the 55k month rake race. So lots of money can be made on the tables, lots of money can be made just from promotions. So it really is the time where things are getting really serious. You know, you built your way up, you're now at this level where you're like, not make or break it, because, you know, no matter how, you know, bad things can go or how well things can go, you know, anything can happen. But, you know, it's definitely at that level where you're thinking, okay, well, if I can beat this level, then, you know, I feel unstoppable. And then if you can't beat this level, then sometimes you think, you know, what to do now, where to go. But we're going to figure out how to crush it. 2 tables, so we can talk about lots of spots. And, of course, ask me any questions you've got in the comments below. So starting off, 4-handed on the left, 5-handed on the right, and we're just going to see what happens, basically. I'm going to start just, you know, opening a lot of buttons and adjusting as we go along. There is no HUD, there is no chat, there is no notes. People can change their screen name, so it is pretty much as of now, and that's how you sort of treat it, just like you would in a live cash game. This one can really connect with Villain's range, so I'm going to check here and go for a delayed C-bet. If he checks, I'll bet. If he bets, I'll fold. Ace is a really good turn card for us to represent as well. We check the flop, we bet an ace, it all makes sense. We would definitely do that with some of our big aces, because we know that he, you know, hits this kind of board and we don't, but then we hit this turn. So I'm just going to bet 3/4 pot. Could go half pot, doesn't really make that much of a difference here. But I think if I was betting for value, then I'd be betting this amount because it's a wet board. He check raises me, which is really interesting. I'm going to assume he's often going to just have like 2 pair, or possibly a set, and he just went for a check raise. I don't think he's going to be bluffing that often. Queen 4 suited, I'm going to just raise it up here. Before I, you know, turn this video on to record, he limped and just played really passively post flop. So I figure he might just limp fold a lot, and that's fine by me. If we can just get a ton of folds and not really have to do anything else, and that's a win for us. Ace 4 suited, blind versus blind. My opening sizing 3x. I'm in raise the button and then 3x all other positions. And I don't have a blind versus blind limping strategy. Ace 4, I'm going to go for a check call here. I'd be much happier check calling if there's like a heart on the board, like the 5 or the 7 of hearts. Then I've got the pair and the backdoor flush draw. On his turn, I guess I'm just going to go ahead and bet. We could also just checking it to showdown, but if he doesn't bet that flop, that, you know, to me, makes sense that he doesn't really have, you know, a 5 or a 7 that often. So, you know, if he's got a queen on the turn and he calls, that sucks, but generally he's going to fold. And if we get him to fold a hand like 10 jack, hands like that, then that's good because, you know, they've got equity versus us, so we're just sort of betting for value and protection there. He has deuces, which actually beats, so we got value on that turn, so he's probably a pretty bad player. Deuce is up to check back against 2 opponents when there's 3 overcards, even with a gut shot. I think that's going to be the best line. They will check the turn again. Pretty interesting here. The only thing is, like, this guy is really short, so, you know, he might be one of those, like, check callers with top pair or whatever. So I think I'm just going to check and just try and go to showdown here. I think this looks like a good spot for a 3-bet. We don't know too much about this guy, apart from that he limp folds blind versus blind. But in position, 9-10 off versus a cut-off open, definitely worth a go. Deuces here, I think I might win by checking. So I'm going to go ahead and do that, and yet we do just win versus those overs. So we 3-bet and we get a cold call, and now we see a 6-7 jack. He's generally going to have lots of pairs, but we do block lots of those pairs. Normally his pairs are going to be like 9s, 10s. So we can go ahead and bet and assume he's going to probably have hands like ace queen or ace king. Sometimes we'll have a hand like pocket jacks, pocket queens, but it's definitely one of those good spots for us to bet. Queen on the turn, really good card for us, not a great one for him. Obviously we're a little bit worried that he might have a set here of jacks, but you know, queen's generally going to be in our range, and we do turn a straight draw as well. So we're bluffing with equity. He actually checked jams here, so I assume he's just got a set, and there's nothing we can do, so we fold. But that's fine. It's fine. I'm definitely happy to barrel there. You know, even though we block it, say he did have a hand like 9s or 10s or possibly pocket 8s, well, he's going to fold that a lot of the time on that turn, and he's also just, going to just give us money if he calls and folds a lot of rivers. I don't think he can call many rivers with 9s or 10s, but generally going to get him to fold the flop if he's got, the ace, queen, ace, king type hands, and then on the turn, we're going to barrel and get him to fold those, mid-pair type hands. Also, if he's got jack on that turn, I'm not too sure how many jacks he's cold calling with there. Some bad players might cold call with king jack suited, for example. He's not going to feel that great, and he's certainly not going to feel great facing a river jam, so I'm definitely happy with that double barrel. And my sizing, I kept it just, close to half pot. I don't need to go massive there, and I don't need to go too small there. I just want to half pot it, set the river up for a good jam size, and, that'll do it. 9-10 suit, I'm going to isolate this guy. Really nice playable hand in position. Hopefully just get a heads up versus him. I am limp calling or something. If he folds, then that's not a problem. Because we win 2.5 blinds. He calls, we fold bottom pair, straight draw. We can really do anything here, apart from fold. We can check to call lots of turns, or we can bet. I think with a hand this strong, we can check. There's not many bad cards that can come, apart from this one that has, but even that is in our range, more so than his. I think I'm just going to check here and go to showdown. I think that probably was the best route. Not that happy with this run out, but just check down. Sadly, he was just free rolling us. Don't think I really could have got him to fold on any street. Didn't think I needed to, so one of those spots where we just sort of, check down, think we're going to win a ton. Board doesn't run out too well. Still think we can win a ton, but, was not meant to be on that time. And, if he's got, we think he's got, a small pair, he's going to have small pairs with clubs, which I think always calls, so I might be just checking down there for my showdown value. Queen 10, I open 2 calls. Good flop for us, of course. Reason it's a good flop, nobody raised, so why would you not raise if you had ace king or aces and kings or hands like that? We block ace queen, we block, ace 10, we block king queen. So, yeah, bet and take is going to happen a ton of the time there. Ace 7 here. It's pretty close. I think I'm just going to fold for now. But definitely how we could be just 3-betting versus the button width. Six 9 we're going to fold. So I've seen a bit of limping going on so far. The site doesn't have auto top up, but this guy still does only have the half stack. So does this guy. So does 420 every day. So there are signs there that this is their money in play, so I can make them play differently. So just like all my other videos, where we play the hood when we don't play without a hood, whatever, we are just basically guessing what type of people these people are, and then we're turning them into facts. I'm going to start off here by betting. Definitely good to rep the king. We can definitely get a lot of draws to go ahead and call, and we get value from that as well. And also we can just get 7s and 8s to fold sometimes as well. So a good opportunity to bet. Way better to bet out there than to check call. So if we're not going to be check calling, then we'll be check folding. But I definitely prefer to bet. We're going to have the best on a ton, so we can protect it. We can get value from draws, and we can also make hands of equity fold. Jack high. 10 jack suited here, face under the gun open, just going to go for a peel. We don't need to turn that into a bluff, pre-flop or anything, we can just call here flop. Sometimes on these boards I would check raise. I'm not going to do it this time. The times I would do it is if it was a club on the board, so I had some backdoor equity. But when we flat and then when we check raise these boards and barrel into draws that get there or straight draws or anything like that, and then it does get a lot of credit. But I like to have some sort of backdoor there. 6-3 gets value from ace king there on the right hand table, which is good. I know a lot of people have been enjoying the micro stakes videos, the 25NL video, and been PMing me saying get these 50NL videos going. So I hope it has been worth the wait. 7-5 here, not going to defend, going to top up. Always try and have 100 big blinds. I mean, sometimes you will fall a big blind or two below. All in here, interesting. Gets a call by, what the hell? King 8 just decides to call a 3-bet, ship on the ace high, dry board, and do his money. And he instantly reloads, so I think Pepe might be a bit of fun. That's awesome. 7-8, I'm going to try and open blind versus blind, and I'm going to go for my usual isolation here. King 9 suited. It plays well versus limper. Last time he just limp folded. He's played pretty poorly post-flop that we've seen. So yeah, King 9 suited, we're never going to be folding this. Do we want to limp behind pre-flop? Well, no, because we can get him to fold pre-flop by raising. And also, you know, he's probably going to call with a lot of hands that are worse than King 9 suited. I'm going to just bet half pot on this board. Remember, last time he had 9-10 off. So we know his range is quite wide for limp calling under the gun. Ace-4 on the other table, like I say, just sticking to my min-raise strategy. Interesting flop for us. Top pair, straight draw. I'm just going to go ahead and bet this. Don't really like if he raises. If he does raise, I do just fold. But I still think it's better to bet than check because, you know, well, we don't want to let him get free cards. Turn, okay, well, we turn a straight, but it's the dummy end and there is a flush out there. So I'm going to check here and basically just call any non-heart river. Or non sort of like 6 river maybe. I'd probably call a 6 actually. Or sort of like raise the 6, but you know, calling for the chop kind of thing, never fun. Ace-4 here, do we need to turn into a bluff? I don't think so, so we're going to check. Sadly, he did have the 6s. So good job we checked there. Ace-9 in the cutoff, I will be opening this, but it's been opened, so it's under the gun, so I'm going to fold. (6-3) definitely in the muck. Kept all these videos at 30 minutes because there's so many of them, and you know, people kind of, you know, we spoke about this for a long time. Should it be an hour, 45 minutes, 30 minutes? 45 minutes did seem to be the right number, but after, you know, sort of like many series, you know, a Unibet series and the micros works out to be 2 to 3 hours, and these, you know, adds another 2 to 3 hours. So you probably get like 6-7 hours of Unibet coverage doing the 30 minutes, which I think is better than, you know, 9 or 12 hours. If you disagree, if you want them longer, let me know. We're trying to get it right. Interesting one going on here. Button versus big blind. 10-3-7-7. Backdoor flush draws getting there. We don't block anything with the deuce 4 that we folded. King Jack there versus Ace 10. Wow. Big flop for King Jack there with top pair and a flush draw. Ends up paying off with the 2 pair, which is no good. 5 deuce suited in the big blind. Might be peeling this. Getting a pretty okay price, and you know, our hand's not terrible. It's pretty marginal. I'm just way happier playing out of position than most. This turn's really interesting that I lead, just because the original opener should have way more aces than I should. But I don't want to be check calling with 5 high. He calls, so I'm just going to shut down because I assume he's going to have like Ace 10 or Ace 8 suited or something like that. I'm not going to go for a check raise or anything, just giving up. But basically, I just want to check call like 3/4 pot. I'd rather bet sort of, you know, half pot, give my chance to get them to fold. If they call, then I can bet river to get value. Because the problem is, if I check call turn, then it's going to be really hard for me to get river value without leading. I think when I lead, once the flush hits, then it's a little bit more obvious. And I just feel like they check back their aces that I spoke of, you know, Ace 8, Ace 10. And of course, the Ace 5 he had there. 8-10 off, open blind versus this guy who sat with, you know, a random stack size. You know, nothing that crazy good there. Just want to win them blinds. Big pot going on here. Min raised by Pepe. Pepe's definitely proven to not be a good player. So this could mean absolutely anything. Be interesting. Be interesting to see. Once upon a time, this meant the nuts, but welcome to 2016. He gets a flat call, so Makaju might just be thinking, well, if this guy's bluffing, I'm just going to let him keep bluffing into me. I'm just going to call every street, which is what I would do. You know, if I'd had like aces or, you know, like a set or even, you know, kings or queens maybe, I would just call and just let this guy like hang himself because, well, if he's got us beat, he's got us beat. But, you know, I'm just going to let him, you know, punt it off. And that's exactly what he did with nines. Nines I might have jammed because there's so many overcards that can come, which, you know, crush us. But, you know, I really like the way he played that. So, Makaju to me, I'm thinking reg. just because he thought, well, hey, Pepe's bluffing here. You know, this guy's just spewing some money off. I'm going to just let him keep doing it. So, mad respect to that. Ace Queen, I open the button, get a call from small and big. Interesting here with Ace Jack facing the 3-bet. I think I have to fold, but obviously you're thinking about Pepe, like how many terrible hands he might have, but we just don't know too much about him yet. Ace Queen, I'm going to check, even though we've got that nut flush draw. Against two people on a 4-7 Jack, our bet just won't get through enough. Face a lead on this king turn. And that card that favours me more than them. But I'm going to fold. Obviously, we think we need a 10 to make the nuts. An ace might have been good, but just not enough clean outs there. Make sure you go check out the forum as well, guys. The forum's just smashed all sorts of records in January. So thanks for everybody who's really enjoying the PokerVIP site and the update. Jam here by 420, who's repping a hand like King 7. King Jack, maybe. I don't know if that makes much sense. So a bit random, but you'd assume he's got a value hand here and is not bluffing that often. Gets a quick fold. Queen do some mucking. Pot going on here. Large bet by horrendously. Name fits in pretty well. My name, crushing Uni 1, because that's what we're trying to do. We're trying to crush Unibet. 7-8 here. Do we want to ISO? Pretty close versus 2, but I think we can go ahead and give it a go. Horrendously does just, fold pre quite a lot, He's pretty mixed with it. King 10 here. I think I'm actually going to opt to open. Nobody's been really, 3-bet happy. So I think it's pretty marginal. I'd definitely always open it from the cutoff, but when people aren't 3-betting that often, we can definitely loosen up and just try to steal a few more blinds. And it works nicely. Get a limp call by both. We flop 2 on a very wet board. This is a great spot to be in. There's a big pot. They have, 2.5 to 3.5 times the pot size. We've got the 8 of clubs. It's pretty much, a dream spot in a sense. Can they wake up with a hand that beats us? Yep, but, without seeing their cards, we've got to assume that we're going to have the best hand a good amount here. So anyway, I was talking about Mikiju, how good his slow play was. This ain't the time to do it. So far, there's a lot of money in the pot. He doesn't have much back. It's a wet board. 9s, 10s, clubs, 6s, 5s, lots of cards that we don't like, so we ship it in. And we actually run into the nuts here, unluckily. At top pair, so I was talking about it being the dream spot, but, we know horrendously likes his 9-10 off limps under the gun. And it's just one of those things. We get it in good versus Pepe. We don't get it in good versus horrendously, sadly. But a great spot. Limp calling under the gun, 9-10, limp calling King Jacks, stacking off King Jack. You've got to just take the blows. And I think this is one of the things that we discuss a lot on the forum and just on Skype to a lot of people. And even in these videos is, John, I'm doing everything right, but they just keep crushing me. And, lots of people call it getting fish owned. Embrace it, don't be sad at all, that sucked, yep, 2 pair versus a straight versus top pair, we ISO 2 people pre, we flop 2 pair, I mean, we're loving life, I said this is a dream spot, and it is a dream spot. Let's hope that spot happens 1,000 more times this year, because way more than often, we're going to have the best hand, and we're going to hold, and we're going to make money, so just keep on, the positive thing of, we will make money, we will make money, we will make money, and then we will definitely make money. So, under the gun, Queen 9 off, we're going to fold. I mean, definitely the marks at the table, horrendously in Pepe. And then on the other table, we're looking at 420 every day and Treneris. No facts on those, really. But just because of their stack size, we're assuming. We're guessing so far. But facts are, horrendously and Pepe are very weak players. And they're, easy money. And Pepe keeps reloading, He's lost 75 euros in, 10 minutes? I mean, that's that's an incredible loss rate. He is losing so much money so fast. No pairs, 1 pairs. I forget the other hand. Oh, pocket 5s he just overplayed. I mean, it's incredible. I mean, that's real free money being given away. And that's just Unibet for you. You've seen it throughout the other videos I've made. King 5 suited, we're going to raise. Get a caller. Flop like this, really good. You know, we'd expect not to have that many 8s or deuces. Nor do we expect to have that many big hands, like big pocket pairs. So we assume when he checks and we bet, we're going to win it a lot. I'm going to risk a really small amount. I'm going to risk 112 to win 213, which I think works a lot of the time. And we're just going to see what happens. We actually get raised here. So plan backfired. Plan has backfired, but we're not going to do anything there. No point of floating that with King 5. We don't want to be like 3-betting that flop. For now, we just fold and we figure out one day what that means and try and, you know, exploit that. But, you know, raising me on that flop, it's just never going to be great with anything unless he's bluffing, and that bluff just works all of the time. Because remember, sometimes we're going to have big pairs and, you know, deuces. But for now, we just fold. 10 deuce here. Interesting here to note, horrendously is opened. Normally he just limps. Now he started min raising. Don't know if that's because he's like feeling a bit more comfortable. You know, now he's got like a stack. But it'd be interesting to see whether that actually means, you know, random hands. So here he actually limps. Sorry, he raises rather than limps, which is interesting. So he's definitely, you know, in, you know, a higher gear. So lots of video series this year. The William Hill one went down really well. Unibet won, same thing. And we've got, you know, Bet365, America's Card Room, Full Tilt, Microgaming, you know, Stan James, all to come. So stay tuned for those. Like I say, please leave reviews, please leave comments as well. This is the crushing 50 NL Unibet series. Like I say, where the money really starts to matter. Not going well for us now. We're probably down to buy-in, I guess. But that's not anything major. If we played every single day, we would make lots of paper. Bet here by Macajou. Jack, Queen, Deuce, Ace. 2 spades. Horrendously calls. King on the river, so 10 completes the straight. We know horrendously loves his old 9-10 offsuit. Especially when he's under the gun. One thing you guys might have noticed as well is how fast these games are. You know, I think, you know, you really see just how quick the action is. And it's because they don't have like super long time banks. Generally, people are just making bad decisions quickly. But you know, this guy's under the gun again. You know, he's always under the gun. 9-10 it is for Macajou, and Ace Jack for horrendously. Surprised Mac made it small there, because once horrendously calls, we're going to put him on top pair or 2 pair a lot. And I don't think he's the type of player to fold. So you know, even if he's just got like Ace Rag, you know, he's the type to just call just from what we've seen. So, you know, Mac maybe should have known a little bit more or been watching a little bit closer. Because if that was me, I would have gone really large there. You know, at least half pot. Probably thinking 65, 75% pot. You've got to get the most out of these people because they're not around forever. And they change their names and take breaks and come and go. So you never try to leave $1 on the table, basically. Or should I say €, because we're playing on a Unibet. Not much in it now between the dollar and the euro, so if you're like a 50 NL dollar player, just play 50 NL on here. There's really nothing in it. If you just go to xc.com or any other sort of currency converter, there's a couple euros in it, basically. Min raise here on the river by horrendously. Can assume he had the straight and a fold there by Mac. Raise here on the river by every day. Gets a call. 9 of clubs wins. Wow. Playing poker. So, 420 every day. Check raised me on an 8 deuce deuce about, what, 5 minutes ago, and we said, well, you know, if he's bluffing, then it has to work a lot, and it won't be that great of a thing to do. If he's value raising, not a great thing to do because he gets me to fold. We're thinking, well, maybe he just had an 8. Maybe he just had a deuce. But now we've seen this, where he's just raised with complete air. Now we're thinking, maybe this guy just raises a little bit too much. So now I'm guessing, and, you know, educated, an educated guess that he maybe bluffs too much. So now we need to turn that into a fact. We need to see him do it again. We might need to see him do it a couple of times, and then we can start reacting to that a little bit better. And the ways to react are obviously to call, to then raise, or to just, go ahead and 3-bet or 4-bet flops, or turns, or, double barrel more, triple barrel more, make our sizing, so he can't really bluff over the top of us. Lots of ways like that. But we're just developing reads. Pocket 7s here, we see a limp. Horrendously can just have literally anything. So I'm going to go ahead and raise to €2. Hand doesn't play that well out of position versus anything on any board, such as this. He can have an 8, he can have a jack, he can have, the 9-10s, he can have a king, he can have pretty much anything. So on a board like this, I'm happy to just shut down and, just really not do anything. And it does kind of suck, but a lot of times there we're going to get good boards, we're going to be able to get value, we're going to be able to check call on a lot of turns. But 3 overcards, I think we're just going to let that one go. We've definitely got value pre-flop versus a worst hand, so that's a slight win. Jack 10 in the cutoff. I'll be playing this as an open, but if anyone opens ahead of me, I will just fold. Don't want to be cold calling, don't want to be 3-betting with that hand in this position versus under the gun, so folding's the only route. Value bet looking size here by Makaju on the ace 5-6-6-8 with 3 diamonds versus our friend Horrendously. Pepe's been a little quiet. I love his avatar. Like a little meerkat or something. Pocket 7s over this table. Hopefully it goes a little bit better for us than the last time. I do apologise as well for the sniffing and the nasally voice. I do have a bit of a cold at the moment. Hope it hasn't distracted the video. Definitely want to open more hands on this right hand table. Everyone's just folding. Nobody's really 3-betting or playing many pots. So actually, here's a good example of adjusting to your table. Is I normally open like 5s plus under the gun, but I'm just going to open 4s. It's a slight, a very slight open. Like open range, like on top of our usual. So very minor, but everyone's very tight, so we can just start taking advantage of that. And this is a slight advantage. I'd normally fold this, but now I can open thinking I'm probably going to get it through a lot. People aren't going to be 3-betting me, so I'm just going to be playing versus callers. So we can just do that. Going to bet here. Great board for us to bluff on. We're going to have ace king a lot, and he's never going to have it pretty much. So we're just going to bet and take that down. And definitely a board I would triple barrel on there. You can have lots of 1 pair, 2 pair type hands, but we open under the gun. We bet that flop. We bet a turn. We bet the river. We're going to have ace king a lot. So speaking of ace king, left hand table. Going to probably be our last hand of this part 1 video. I'm not going to defend turn 4 off on the right hand side. Just going to sit out there as well. Ace king, going to bet here. 2 overs, backdoor nut flush draw, backdoor straight draw, take it down. Okay, so that was part 1 of the Crushing Unibet 50NL series. What have we learned so far? Well, there's still dead money, like we've learned in all our other previous videos. We've learned that limping is still a situation, and it's a situation that we know how to play versus. We just keep isolating, we just keep embracing, the losses if it happens. We just know that we do the right thing more than they do, and then that'll lead to us making more money than they do. Regs, yeah, well, we think Mac is a reg. He played well with those pocket 9s. People like Pepe still punting money off. And, we're just adjusting to the table. Same as a lot of my videos, we're just sitting down, we're guessing what they're doing because of our experience. We're then turning that guess into like, okay, I'm pretty sure he's doing this. And then we're like, fact. This guy just bluffs too much. This guy limp folds too much. This guy limp calls too much. And then we're finding ways to exploit. So come back for part 2. And this was John for PokerVIP.com.